Return to Atlantis, the Arkansas Crystal Vortex. Pleiadian Light Forces transmission, March 6, 2021. Channeled by Michael Love. A special message to the starseeds of New Earth, for immediate planetary broadcast. The Pleiadians often tell stories designed to bring you to higher levels of consciousness. This light transmission is encoded to trigger your ancient divine memories. The information in this data stream is derived from the Atla Ra Law of One and is channeled from the crystalline Great Akashic records that contain a complete and accurate record of the history of planet Earth. Great One. Since the end of Earth year 2020, record levels of high vibrational light have been streaming into Earth's atmosphere, raising the consciousness of all life in this cosmos. Much more information is flowing through your DNA optics now as they continue to reconnect to their corresponding chakra port. New knowledge about many subjects is starting to flow through your light body, and every few days it seems, another momentous truth is brought up into your awareness. The beings of Earth are waking up at record speeds and in record numbers now, and as consciousness levels increase, much more information about what happened in Earth's history is coming to light. In ancient days you retained the full knowledge of advanced crystal technology and used this knowledge for complete healing, as a powerful ascension and transformation tool, and as the primary component of many types of exotic technology. It is time to remember this advanced knowledge, to remember what happened, and to be reacquainted with our ancient higher selves. Here is the true Pleiadian account of the grand crystals of Atlantis. Have you ever wondered why, as a starseed, you are so mesmerized by even just the thought of the magical city and civilization of Atlantis? Have you ever wondered why you are so attracted to the crystals of Earth? It's as if they are more precious than diamonds and gold in many cases, and some part of ourselves has an intimate connection to them that is very deep and profound. What is this intimate connection, and where does it come from? To begin with, most starseeds have a very real, deep and powerful memory of something dramatic that occurred in the last days of Atlantis. The energy left behind from this event was so powerful, in fact, for many of us, the psychic impact is still etched into our very being. That's about as real as it gets. Here are some things you most likely remember from the last few days in Atlantis. You were working on your ascension? You were working in grand temples and labs as a scientist and priest. You were working with someone then that you are close to now. You were working with the natural energy of the earth and with very large beautiful crystals. A massive catastrophe occurred and your work was cut short just before you had finished. Before the catastrophe you had a short time to save your information and technology. What happened to this information and technology? Let's go deeper into our ancient memories and see if we can get past the amnesia and continue what we were doing. As usual, we will tell you a Pleiadian story, and by the end of the story you shall be enlightened. Dear One, the starseeds of Earth are aware of the powerful energy and healing vortices located around the world, namely in Egypt, Spain, Mexico and England. Most are aware of the powerful energy vortex in Sedona, Arizona, and the vortices located near Mount Shasta and Joshua Tree, California. But here is a bit of light for you. One of the most powerful energy vortexes in the world is located in North America, in the mountains of Arkansas. Earth energy vortexes always exist at intersections of natural electromagnetic Earth energy pathways, known as ley lines. Being inside one of these vortexes even for a short period has a powerful healing and transformative effect on the spiritual adept. The Arkansas Mountain Energy Vortex is extra powerful because of the large crystal deposit that exists directly underneath its intersecting ley lines. Most are aware of the huge and magnificent quartz crystal veins of Brazil, but the largest single unbroken vein of quartz on the planet exists in the Arkansas Mountains. The giant quartz deposit in Arkansas begins in the area of Little Rock and extends in a massive western curve for over 170 miles, with a width of 35 to 40 miles. Beneath the surface of the central region of Arkansas rests enormous beds of exquisite crystals, the size and beauty of which are visually stunning. Some of the quartz points are over 40 meters in length and weigh up to 100 tons. Dear One, eons ago, you lived and walked among the gods on earth, in the shining golden civilization of Atlantis. You lived in perfection, peace and bliss, and you possessed advanced knowledge of science, technology, healing, spirituality and the arts. You are the magnificent descendants of the Lyran humanoids that came to Earth millions of years ago, who are the pre-Adamites that first terraformed planet Earth and seeded the first life here. As you may recall, the Isle of Poseida was located inside the original five-ringed city of Atlantis in the Atlantic Ocean, off the eastern coast of America and close to the continent of Europe and North Africa. In those days, Poseida was the planet's most potent energy center. Poseida housed the Temple of Healing, the Temple of Sound, the Temple of One, the Temple of Regeneration and the Temple of Knowledge. Poseida was also the headquarters of the global crystalline power grid. North America, like many other countries, was also occupied by Atlantean settlers, crystal seeders and miners for millennia, up until the Great Deluge that occurred around 12,000 years ago. The Atlanteans of those days were very beautiful and tall beings and are what would be called giants today. Thousands of their large skeletons have been found all around the country, primarily in the Ohio Valley, and all Native American Indians are direct bloodline descendants of these advanced star beings, which have a unique haplomarker in their blood that is not from Earth. Remnants of the Atlantean civilization and their crystal seeding and mining operations are scattered all across the continent of North America for those that have eyes to see. Many of you will recall being part of an elite angelic organization called the Atla-Ra priesthood that guided the entire global Atlantean civilization in ancient days. As advanced spiritual and technical beings, you worked in the great original primary Atlantean temples in service to all. Most of you have clear memories today of working and living in these magnificent and beautiful crystal temples of light. Many of you remember working with the healing energies of the crystals, and others remember doing technical work with them. Our main crystals were housed in the magnificent temples of Atlantis, some built of marble, others of crystalline sheets of beryl, corundum and diamond. The divine blueprints for these temples of light were brought from the fifth dimension by the Pleiadians and other starseeds who settled the planet millions of years ago. As members of the Atla-Ra, we all maintained the highest standards of consciousness and were able to vibrate at very high frequencies of consciousness, at the level of 12th dimensional light and energy, remaining very pure and resonant with the true oneness concept of the Creator God. We sustained higher dimensional telepathic contact with our advanced space brethren from the Pleiades, Arcturus, Andromeda and Sirius in the higher realms. We had perfected, with Arcturian technology, the ability to grow crystals of every structure and essence and with stunning beauty and size. We had also perfected an accelerated crystal growth system within the underground crystal beds of Arkansas, Tibet, and Brazil. Our prize crystal and seeding and mining operation, however, was located in the crystal fields of modern-day Arkansas. We chose the area of your Arkansas because of its powerful ley line energy and thousands of square miles of open space. Even before the large crystal deposit was seated there, the ley line vortex of electromagnetic energy was very powerful, and we were drawn to the area just like your modern-day starseeds are. Ground zero for this original Grand Atlantean crystal seeding and mining operation was in the Ouachita Mountain and Lake area, the Talimena Ridge area and the Eureka Springs area of Arkansas. The powerful and unique electromagnetic vortex there created the perfect hyperdimensional atmosphere for seeding and growing exotic quartz crystal. On the main Atlantean island in the Atlantic, we had built a global multidimensional tunnel system using Arcturian technology that extended out from our headquarters on Poseida, and this tunnel stretched across the entire Earth. This magnificent tunnel system was primarily used to transport huge crystals, the size of a half a football field, from the crystal seeding and mining operations, back to the main island. An entrance to the physical part of these tunnels still exists today at the western end of the crystal deposit in Arkansas, in modern Batesville. You can walk down into this ancient Atlantean tunnel entrance, and if you were able to walk far enough, you would find out there is no end to the tunnel and you could literally come out on the other side of the world. This tunnel entrance is connected to what is called Inner Earth and Agartha. Near the surface of these tunnel openings you are sure to find crystals fused with pure gold and silver, diamonds and other exotic high-spin elements that defy the laws of physics. These valuable crystal artifacts are remnants of ancient Atlantean crystal technology. All entrances to Inner Earth around the world exist exactly at the most powerful ley line intersections and directly on top of an Atlantean crystal seed bed. As the seeded Arkansas crystals grew and became mature, we extracted them and brought them back to the main island in the Atlantic. The most advanced, complex and beautiful crystals on Earth in those days were kept on the main island of Atlantis. You may remember how mesmerizing and energetic these benevolent crystals were. Imagine a spectacular violet or pink-colored crystal imbued with diamond, gold and silver that weighed up to nearly 100 tons. This is what we are speaking about. Do you remember the 9 master crystals we placed around the island? They were around 50 meters tall, were each different colors, and were translucent like colored ice cubes. When infused with high vibrational light, each of these exotic crystals emitted an incredible and beautiful aura of energy that could be seen and felt for miles. These crystals were the foundation of every aspect of our Atlantean civilization, including electricity, communications, computers, tools, travel, healing, and many other exotic technologies still not rediscovered to this day. You do remember that Poseida was the capital city of our Atlantis, and was called the Emerald City, which derived its name from an amazing emerald green crystal that lit up the entire island. As Aryan factions took control of an important grid satellite and began to make war with the rest of the population, and as Nibiru approached close to the Earth in those days, great calamity was soon to come upon the golden race of Atlantis. As a member of the Atla-Ra priesthood, you had advanced notice of what was coming, and at that point your primary concern was to try to preserve the Atlantean knowledge that was stored in the great crystals, and to place the crystals in a safe place where you could reactivate them, sometime in your future. Only weeks before the grand catastrophe occurred in Atlantis, and before the great deluge hit the Earth, you and the other Atla-Ra members transported the Atlantean master crystals through the multi-dimensional tunnels, and placed them several miles down, under the ground of Arkansas, and you locked them away with a dimensional lock for protection. These magnificent treasures were placed out of the reach of any modern-day miners by intent, and for good reason. 7 of the incredible primary crystals and 2 secondary crystals were relocated within the bulk transport systems of the underground tunnel system with help from Sirius B. 3 primary crystals were relocated to the Atlantean crystal fields of Arkansas. 2 primary crystals were relocated to the underground crystal farms of Brazil in the areas of Bahia and Minas Gerais. 1 was relocated to underground chasm below Mount Shasta, and the Great Fire Crystal was placed underground in the Sargasso Sea, deep below the Bimini Bank. The 2 secondary crystals from the island of Og were relocated in the chasms below the area of Tiahuanaco, Bolivia near Lake Titicaca. 3 Atlantean wisdom and healing crystals that once beamed magnificent light and celestial energy in the Temple of Healing, the Temple of One and the Temple of Knowledge on Poseida were placed securely in the Atlantean crystal fields of Arkansas. The 3 crystals placed in Arkansas are attuned to a system that includes the remaining 5 master crystals placed in Brazil, Shasta, Bimini, and the 2 Arcturian crystals placed under Lake Titicaca. These are specialized healing, wisdom, energy and transport crystals, used in the Temple of Healing, the Temple of Sound and Light, the Temple of Knowledge, the Temple of One, the Temple of Thoth Hermes, the Ruby Temple of Fire and the Temple of Regeneration. The crystals placed beneath the earth by the ancient Atlanteans in Arkansas are mind-boggling in size and are aesthetically mesmerizing in beauty, exuding perfect symmetry and emit an inner light that is sublime. These otherworldly crystals resonate at and above the 5th dimensional level and hold more power than any objects on Earth. There are miles and miles of crystal caves in the Arkansas mountains that house some of the most exotic and powerful quartz crystals in the world. These gigantic precious gems are of Arcturian and Sirian construct, a living amalgam of many crystalline forms, imbued with an alloy of platinum and gold. While the 3 massive Atlantean crystals were placed deep into the Earth's crust in Arkansas around 12,000 years ago, another 6 miles of great flood sediment covered the entire area soon after. If you could resonate high enough to open the dimensional lock, and if you could dig down deep enough, you would find everything right where we left it. By the way, the entire planet was covered in this same 6 miles of mud after the Great Deluge, and this is why it's hard to find most of the advanced structures that existed on the Earth before 12,000 years ago. There are buildings, built by different humanoid races all around planet Earth, as large as a city, that are stunning to behold. Millions of these very advanced and gigantic structures, plus all kinds of advanced technology and objects were buried deep in the earth, by at least 6 miles of Nibiru flood mud. The Arkansas Atlantean crystal field contains unique combinations of magnetic minerals, aquifers and a diamond deposit, which work synergistically with the quartz that was originally seated there. The Atlantean crystals have a myriad of properties, especially when combined with magnetics. These metaphysical properties are as yet still unknown to modern scientists. Magnetite is widespread and abundant on Earth, but magnetic minerals with properties exhibiting intrinsic polarity are quite rare. One of the most potent concentrations of intrinsic polar lodestone is in the quartz-bearing center of the crystal vortex at Magnet Cove, Arkansas, near Hot Springs. Crystalline quartz is multidimensional and when blended with certain magnetic properties creates what you term as stargates and wormholes in space. These are intermittently occurring, appearing and disappearing in random apertures above the Earth's surface in the crystal vortex at present. The ancients were able to harness and focus this energy into specific areas on the planet and were able to travel through both space and time, instantly. What's more, crystalline energy is an omnipotent power source that has implications far beyond humanity's current understanding. Crystalline structure is formed by an essence of frequential light resonance that is multidimensional and coherent, existing in matter and antimatter. It is the divine template that sources all creation manifestation, and that which forms the very matrixial composition of every plane of existence. It is the enzyme of reality transduction and the vitality spring of the divine thought that forms the cosmos itself. The 3 Atlantean master crystals that were buried in the Arkansas mountains create the most powerful electromagnetic vortex on Earth, which exists in what may be termed intraspace, within a frequency of parallel hyperdimensionality. A very rare form of the noble metal gold is present at deeper levels, within the stored Atlantean crystals, below Arkansas. It is a form of unique, crystalline electrum. Earth geologists are well aware that gold often occurs in crystallized quartz, but have not as yet explored the quantum fields that octahedral crystalline gold electrum generates. There is also thousands of square miles of quartz and silica at very deep levels that have been fused with silver and gold and monatomic elements due to the tremendous heat and pressure in the crust. Small rare pieces of this exotic material comes to the surface through kimberlite pipes. The great Atlantean temple crystals placed below the lands of Arkansas are a high vibrational alloy conglomerate of quartz, silver and gold. These were manifested through otherworld technology. The frequency of crystalline electrum gold is capable of combining with specific types of high-frequency quartz to enable the bending and molding of dimensional fields, through an electroalchemical process that transforms atomic structure. The master crystals underneath Arkansas have since transferred their metaphysical properties to the quartz indigenous to the area. The 3 master crystals, which contain a higher dimensional alloy of gold conglomerate, have since imbued the naturally occurring Arkansas quartz beds with these exotic elemental properties. The crystals from the Arkansas mountains carry a unique harmonic, which is especially potent. This powerful Arkansas crystal harmonic is formed by the concentrated electricity and magnetics emitted by the intersecting ley lines of Arkansas, and as you know, electricity and magnetism are components of light. The spectrum of visible light is but a small fraction of the magnificent geometric light of the higher spectrum. Crystals are powerful amplifiers, transmitters, receivers and storage devices by themselves, but when you couple them to strong electromagnetic fields, to exotic elements and expose them to high vibrational geometric light, you have no idea of the energy these are capable of generating, or the things they can do. The advanced understanding of ancient Atlantean crystal technology and all of its applications will fully come back into your conscious remembrance, in the near future and when you are ready to receive that much power and responsibility. Great One. Here's the ancient memory we are activating. 20,000 Earth years ago, you took a sacred oath to the Atla Ra, angelic council, and you have upheld your oath, unto this very day. You vowed in those days to save the knowledge, and you have kept your word. You vowed to save the crystals as they contain the power of the universe, and you have kept your word. You vowed to assist all beings of Earth, in their ascension to the higher realms, and you have kept your word. You vowed that fateful day in Atlantis, before your divine brothers and sisters, that you would return in the future and reactivate the mesmerizing and powerful Atlantean master crystals, and return this world back to the paradise it was always meant to be. One might ask at first, is this really so? How would I be able to do such a thing? I do not remember how to activate the crystals. We say, if not you, then who? You were the original programmer of these fantastic crystals, and in fact you are the only one who does know how to reactivate them. You know inside, and the crystals themselves have been already speaking with you, to give you some reminders, getting you ready. We know because they are speaking to us as well. Didn't you hear them say? Simply tune in to us with your new higher consciousness and watch what happens. Dear One, the science and magic of Atlantean crystal technology was long forgotten since the ancient days of Atlantis, but in this last incarnation, your DNA has evolved to a much higher state of being, where all the knowledge stored in the crystalline Akashic grid, this living crystal library, is starting to now flow through your being. The data is all here and the knowledge is all here, and you have every ability to tune it to this information, and read it. The starseeds of Atlantis on Earth today, with sufficient light quotient, indeed can sense the energy of these living master crystals, connect to them in a heightened mode of consciousness, and begin receiving their high vibrational light codes. We promise when you begin to do this, your vibration will go through the roof. All of this is why you have such an intimate connection to crystals, dear One, and it is now time for all of their technical secrets to be given unto you. You do not have to go and dig up the master crystals in the Arkansas crystal fields just yet. The Pleiadians and Arcturians have full control of them right now, and you will get to see them and touch them again soon, we promise. The blue beings are still guarding the tunnels of Arkansas to this day, and at the right moment, we will all bring the gemstones out of the ground. That will be a grand celebration day. You, Great One, are the Grand Keeper of the sacred crystals of Atlantis, and you have been following a path this entire time, to reawaken this ancient part of yourself, so that you may live and thrive again in the Golden Age, this time, for good. The crystals have been leading you along this path, calling you back to them as they whisper diamond light codes through the crystalline Akashic grid of planet Earth. Together, by sheer benevolent conscious power, the 4.5 billion descendants of Atlantis that dwell on the Earth today will again reactivate the crystalline grid for the common good of all beings of this world. You are filled with much light, now. New inspirations, ideas and technical information will come out of nowhere to you as you move forward. You will know exactly what to do, and how to proceed, as things unfold before you. Thank you for the spiritual work you are doing, and for coming to Earth to assist at this time. Let us know what memories you have of your ancient time in Atlantis, and if you have an intimate connection to the amazing crystal beings of Gaia. We are rising inside, day by day, back to our higher nature, and we shall soon take our place again as the shining race of beings that walk among the gods on Earth. Divine blessings and Godspeed. Michael and the Pleiadians. 5DEarthProject.com. Special credit and acknowledgement to the Earth Alliance, the Atla Ra, the Great White Brotherhood, the White Dragon Society, Pleiadian Codename, Cobra, the Guardians of Earth and the Sphere Being Alliance.